The popular girls edited me out of the yearbook photo. What my teacher did at graduation still brings me to tears 15 years later. In high school, I was invisible, not the dramatic movie-style bullied kid, just thoroughly unremarkable, plain clothes, average grades, no sports or clubs. I ate lunch alone with a book, sat in the back corner of classrooms, and could count on one hand the number of conversations I'd had that year that weren't with teachers or my parents. Senior year, something unexpected happened, Mrs. Rodriguez. Our English teacher assigned group projects where we had to film modern adaptations of Shakespeare scenes. I was paired with Amber, Barrett, and Madison, the untouchable echelon of our school's social hierarchy. I expected to do all the work while getting no credit. Instead, when I timidly suggested a twist on Romeo and Juliet where the families were rival tech companies, Amber actually listened. For 3 weeks, we worked after school in Mrs. Rodriguez's classroom. They included me in decisions, laughed at my jokes, invited me to get coffee once. We earned an IROP and the screening at the school's annual arts showcase. When we took a group photo after the screening, Madison's mom insisted I stand in the center since it was my vision. For the first time, I felt visible, connected, maybe not friends exactly, but at least acknowledged as a person of value. The yearbook photographer captured that moment. The 4 of us with our arms linked, my shocked smile in the center, our A project displayed on the screen behind us. 2 months later, when yearbooks were distributed, I flipped eagerly to the arts section. There was our project featured prominently, but in the photo, there were only 3 girls. Where I had stood was now a seamless gap, as if I'd never existed. The caption listed Amber, Aber, and Madison as the creative team behind the showcase standout. I learned later that Madison's father was on the yearbook committee and had professional photo editing skills. I hid in the bathroom and cried silently through lunch period, not because I expected real friendship. I wasn't that naive, but because they'd gone to such deliberate lengths to erase even the brief moment where I'd been seen. She didn't offer empty platitudes or promise to fix it. She just sat beside me on the bathroom floor, her expensive slacks soaking up water from the tiles, and said, I see you. Your work was exceptional. This doesn't diminish that. On graduation day, I sat alone as usual, waiting for my thoroughly average Tompies to be called in the endless procession of names. Mrs. Rodriguez was announcing the English department awards. The final award, she said, is new this year. The Visibility in Storytelling Award goes to a student whose creative vision helped others see the world differently. She paused, looking directly at me. The student's adaptation of Romeo and Juliet as warring tech dynasties showed us that classic stories can find new relevance in unexpected contexts. More importantly, this student showed extraordinary grace when others attempted to diminish her contribution. The entire row of popular girls shifted uncomfortably as Mrs. Rodriguez continued. The recipient receives a $500 scholarship and publication in the district's literary magazine. This award goes to, she announced my name, and for a moment I couldn't move. As I walked to the stage, she pulled out not just a certificate but a framed photo, the original unedited image of the 4 of us after the showcase with me in the center. This is for you, she whispered as she hugged me. I had the photographer send me the original. Your vision deserves to be preserved exactly as it was. I am 33 now with a successful career in screenwriting. That framed photo sits on my desk, not as a reminder of high school cruelty, but of the teacher who taught me that being seen by the right people matters infinitely more than being seen by everyone. Some memories fade, but the moment when someone says I see exactly what they tried to erase and it matters, that remains forever.